try. Build a bridge over troubled waters, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on her face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrows, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, babe, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try. Build a bridge over troubled water, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on her face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on her face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. Let the sun on the way shine, shine. Let the sun of the way shine, 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 shine.
Never lose your faith in the brightness of your
good of getting together. It's always good to do the good. I do believe the world can be better, and I know that you believe it too. Papa, Mama, brothers and sisters, let's get ready for a new dawn. This is the time for those big changes we have all been waiting for so long. Listen to this call, the time is right now. Here is the place, so let's move in a faster pace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. It's always good to getting together. It's always good to do the good. I do believe the world can be better, and I know that you believe it too. Papa, Mama, brothers and sisters, let's get ready for a new dawn. This is the time for those big changes we have all been waiting for so long. Listen to this call, the time is right now. Here is the place, so let's move in a faster pace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. Listen to this call, the time is right now. Here is the place, so let's move in a faster pace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace.
Is there life after death? Would you like to learn more about it? Join us to study and learn together about this and many other topics.
Sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes it's not so close. Sometimes we build our dreams, but then we see them decompose. When you feel down the dumps, feeling sad and blue, give life a chance, my friend, the sun will shine again on you. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Have little faith in you. Maybe tomorrow you can dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, it doesn't mean the end. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Sometimes okay to feel blue. Have little faith in you. Ah. dream all the dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, your dreams can get you through. Have little faith in you.
When I go in to pray, I look for my good Jesus. And when I close my eyes, I can feel all His light. I open my heart for all He has to say. He shows me the best way I can enjoy my life. Jesus, Jesus, they never we apart. Please bring all your light to shine inside my heart. Jesus, Jesus, I can be content. I have your endless love and your protecting hand.
Quand la nuit tombait à Capharnaüm, la maison de pierre si simple, un foyer commun, s'emplissait de paix dans son cœur chacun, recueillait les paroles de lumière du Maître divin. Il me plaît de rêver, de me trouver aussi aux côtés de Jean, Simon, Jacques, André et Lévi, de planter dans nos âmes la sémence de la foi, la sémence que Jésus nous donne et qu'un jour poussera. Et je m'imagine enfant à cet endroit-là, peut-être Jésus m'inviterait à sortir un soir dans les jardins de chez Pierre. J'entendrai sa voix à dire tu sens cette brise, la lune, tu la vois, il faut repartir tout comme elle, puisque telle est la loi. Et pendant ta prière en famille, tous les jours on se reverra. Et je m'imagine enfant à cet endroit-là, peut-être Jésus m'inviterait à sortir un soir dans les jardins de chez Pierre. J'entendrai sa voix à dire tu sens cette brise, la lune, tu la vois, il faut repartir tout comme elle, puisque telle est la loi. Et pendant ta prière en famille, tous les jours on se reverra. Et pendant ta prière en famille, tous les jours on se reverra.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our public meeting. We thank everyone for joining us tonight. Before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place to stay during this time if possible. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Following the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized.
Hi, have you ever wondered about how life is in the spiritual world? Would you like to know more about it? Join us to study and learn together about this and many other topics.
For those who want to learn more about Spiritism, Get to Know to Spiritism is a free and online course that happens every Saturday at 5:15 p.m. East. There will be a new class starting September 10th. The registration link was posted in the chat. We will be sharing more information soon. Stay tuned. We also invite everyone to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube from the Spiritism Canada and the Spiritism group Path of the Light. And we will get started with the opening prayer, and I invite everyone to join me in this prayer. So now let's close our eyes and elevate our thoughts. Heavenly Father, we would like to thank you for the opportunity to be here one more Tuesday in order to learn more about your teachings. We thank you for your love, your mercy, and everything you have done for us. We also thank you for this day, for our lives, our health, our jobs, our family, and our friends. May you can bless us all in our inner necessities and may we become a better person do your example of humility and peace. We ask the good spirits to bless and inspire our friend Larissa, who will speak to us tonight. May we can learn from her. Once again, we thank you for everything and we ask you to stay with us today and always. So be it. We would like to announce that our public meeting is being retransmitted today by Continental Conference Online through their Facebook and will also be retransmitted every Wednesday at 8 p.m. by Kardec Radio through their Facebook. Everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and we will address the questions at the end of the talk. The topic of today's meeting is insults and violence from the chapter 9, Blessed are the meek and peace love, items 1 to 5, which will be facilitated by our sister Larissa from London. And now we invite our tonight's speaker, Larissa. Welcome, Larissa.
Hi, Marcel.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you here. We are in the same city, but yeah, the technology can help us to stay together, right?
Oh, yes, definitely. And I hope everyone enjoyed the lecture today with this amazing topic.
Okay, we will. Bye. See you soon.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. I'm going to share my screen here with you all. So it's a pleasure to be here tonight. We will be continuing the studies of the Gospel according to the Spiritism, and I will be opening today chapter 9, as Marceli said, which is Blessed are the Meek and Peace-Loving, which items 1 to 5. And the topic of today will be insults and violence. It's a very strong topic, and it may sound a little bit weird to be talking about insults and violence under a chapter that has in the name meek and peace-loving, right? But if we analyze carefully, insults and violence, it's basically the totally opposite to someone that is meek and peace loving, right? So sometimes it's good for us to look into the opposite in order to understand truly the meaning of a virtue or whatever topic that we are studying. So that's why this topic specifically will be talking about this. And it's a very relatable topic to us because everybody here that is listening probably can share a story where maybe you were not feeling that good in the time and you react with anger to someone that you love. Or even maybe you were a victim of someone that may act with you insulting, offending, or even with violence of any kind. So it's a topic that is very relatable to humankind, especially nowadays that we know that we are in a world that is in a transition, but we are currently in a world of proof and expiation. So those trials and those bad reactions and bad feelings are present in our world nowadays, right? Are still present, let's say. So before we actually start, I want to ask you all a question. Do you think that when God created the spirits, did he created the spirits as good and others as bad? And I'm asking that question in the sense that, do you think that there are spirits that are here solely to have, like, to react in a bad way or to cause violence or to spread hatred and anger? And the funny thing is that this specific question was made by Kardec when he was doing the codification as well. And the spirits answered him. So let's see what the spirits told him about this. So this question is the question 115, and it's from the book, the Spirit's book, from the codification. So the question was, are some spirits created good and others bad? And the answer from the spirits was, God created all spirits simple and ignorant, meaning lacking of all knowledge. God has given them each a particular mission to enlighten them and help them gradually reach perfection through the knowledge of the truth and rise closer to Him. Spirits acquire knowledge by experiencing the trials inflicted by God. While some accept these trials with resignation and arrive their destiny more quickly, others are defiant and remain far from perfection and happiness promised to them through no fault than their own. So that's a really strong answer as well. But but we can see that God did not create the spirits solely, like essentially bad, right? In on the contrary, we were created like right in the beginning. We were created simple and ignorant, meaning we didn't have any knowledge. And when we become our journey of enlightenment, we end up experiencing a different situations in each incarnation that we go through, right? And those situations, those incarnations, those trials reflect the way that, like, depending the way that we react and depending the way that we accept those trials, like the spirits were saying there, um, we may react in a good way or in a bad way, right? So uh, Kardec also says in this specific question in a note that he compares as us, like our process of enlightenment, to a child that is born and he lacks of all knowledge, right? So if a baby, he doesn't know when he comes to the world, right? He doesn't know how to talk, he doesn't know how to walk. And sometimes the parents will put limits and boundaries that he needs to respect for their own safety and their own good, but the child will start to cry or maybe will not accept those limits and can even end up in a, like, with a bad consequence from that, because he did, like, the baby or the child, right, didn't listen to what the parents that had more knowledge, let's say, were trying to guiding him, right? So it's kind of the same way to us. So, and I brought this question for us to start just to give like more perspective, in the sense of whenever we look someone that may be causing harm to other people or even doing harm to themselves, they are doing that because of this way of experiencing the situation and not thinking about the consequence, right? Sometimes those people doesn't even have the knowledge of the future life that we as spiritists we have. And of course, we already talked in previous talks here about pride, about selfishness, and how us as spirits we need to go through those trials to really evolve and be more be more sorry be more humble and really develop all those virtues from Jesus' teachings, from the gospel, in order for us, like the spirits were saying here in this answer, for us to reach knowledge and rise closer to God. Because this is our mission, like our major mission, let's say, as spirits. It's to be always evolving and enlightening, so we can reach closer to God. So let's continue here, and we will start the chapter 9 with three passages, from the gospel that reflect the teachings that Jesus told us back in that time, right? About these virtues. So the first one is the blessing: "Blessed are the meek, for they shall possess the earth." And it's under the book of Matthew. The other blessing is, "Blessed are the peace loving, for they shall be called children of God." And they are also under the book of Matthew. we will be talking about these two blessings later in the talk today. The third passage that is used in this chapter to explain more about these virtues of meekness and peace loving is, you have learned what was said to the ancients: you shall not kill, and whoever kills shall deserve being condemned to judgment. But I say to you that whoever shows anger against his brother shall deserve being condemned to judgment. Whoever says to his brother, Haka, shall deserve to be condemned by the council. And whoever says to him, you fool, shall deserve being condemned to the fire of hell. So that specifically this third passage, it's a very imponent one from Jesus. And we see here what we studied prior, that Jesus didn't come to destroy the law, right? He's not saying, okay, you delete everything that you heard before, because now this is another law that I'm bringing. On the contrary, he's saying that whatever we learned back there, right, about not killing, this is still condemned. But he dips a little more this rule and this law, saying that it's not only the extreme action of violence that will condemn us. It's also, if I show anger to a brother or a sister or my neighbor or whoever is near me, if I think in a if I think in a bad way someone, if I like he's using here the word from the back in that time, raka, just to explain more, was a word that was used from the Hebrews that means a worthless person. So it was like a swear word. And he's saying that even a word that is direct to someone can be an act that will be condemned, will bring us bad consequence to our journey of enlightenment, right? Yep. So basically, by these maxims, Jesus makes meekness, moderation, docility, affability, and patience as a law. And consequently, he condemns violence, anger, and even any discourteous expression regarding another person. And sometimes it's easy, especially nowadays, it's easy for us to mask our feelings, right? So, but like we have to understand that in the spirituality, right, in the spiritual world, our mentors and the spirits that like accompany us to our journey, they are able to look into us and see what we are really feeling. And even us, with our consciousness, we are able to distinguish whenever we are not feeling good by a person, right? So it's really important to understand that even when we say good things to another, but in the reality inside we are not feeling that, we will be having consequence for that. And the first thing, because we know and we have already seen in other talks that our thoughts, they vibrate, and that person, that even though we are saying that good things about her, but in the inside maybe we are thinking the contrary, that person will feel that vibration as well. And we, because we are having those bad thoughts, those low and thoughts, we will also be having consequence for that. However, in all circumstances, intentions matter, right? So the intention of the act, it can increase or attenuate the wrong depending on what knowledge or consciousness you had in the moment, right? And that's important to think about it, because um, I will invite you all to just do a quick review of your past and see something that maybe you think, like whenever you think about a situation maybe that you had in your past, that nowadays you know better, and probably if it happens again you will probably act differently. But back in the time you didn't have the knowledge to understand that that was not the best way to handle the situation, let's say. So that intention matters, right? So because you don't have the knowledge, it doesn't mean that you will not be responsible, because we are responsible either way for everything that we do, everything that we say, everything that we think. However, the intention will bring us to like the accountability. I mean, we cannot be accountable to fully if we don't have the knowledge, right? However, if you are already studying Spiritism and you are watching all these talks, and especially this talk today, I have to say that you are now being accountable for your future situations that you may face, right? So, and that's important for us, even to forgive sometimes people that in our life may have act with us with rudeness or with anger, right? Maybe they didn't know better back in that time. And that's important for us to really think about forgiveness in that sense, that sometimes we can't forgive the action, but we can forgive the person, because especially understanding that we are not always having all the knowledge to handle the situations that happens to us. And that's part also to, like I was saying in the beginning, to our trials and to our proof, like the proof and expiation that we need to pass over, sometimes even to learn, right? So it's not only for us a way to see if we already learned, but also to bring us clarity and bring us something that we can use as a lesson learned, right? So let's continue. And now, in the chapter, they bring us this question. And maybe it's a question that some of you may be thinking: how can a simple word have enough gravity to deserve such a severe approach? Because if you remember, when Jesus told about the word raka and saying to someone, you fool, like especially the you fool, he said like the person would be condemned to the hell of fire. It's a very severe reproach, right? But then the spirits bring us clarity, and they give us three reasons why even a word that is spoken would be something to have a severe consequence. And the first reason is that every offensive word expresses a sentiment contrary to the law of love and charity. And this love and charity should regulate human relations and maintain harmony and unity in them. The second reason that any bad word or any offensive word that we may say that will affect the person is that because a word is an insult to a mutual benevolence and fraternity, and it will encourage hatred and animosity. And have you ever been in a situation that everything is good, especially at home, let's say? So everything is good, and then one little word, maybe that you say in a bad time, maybe you didn't get that the person that was there was not feeling that good. And then one little joke or one little thing that you said made everything ruin, made everything like created like a fight and animosity that wasn't there. So that's what they are telling us here, is that our words and what even our words, right, they have such an impact not only to our lives but to the lives of the people that are surrounding us. And the third and most important reason for that is that after humility toward God that we need to have, charity towards one's neighbor or your closest person that is with you is the first law for every Christian. So we will speak about charity in future talks here. But basically, sometimes we think that charity is just related to material possessions. And we need to remember that charity in in this sense, it's not only for that, but it's also the moral charity, right? So being able to listen to someone, being able to maybe seeing that the person is not feeling good, so being silent with the person or being there for anybody, right? So it's not only provide the needs for people that maybe it's in a vulnerable situation, but also being able to give a word of encouragement, give a word of peace and love. And that's why we need to be really careful on what we are saying, right? So we don't end up breaking those laws, especially the law of love and charity. And just to going back a little bit about the blessings, right? Blessed are the meek and peace loving, for they shall possess the earth and be called children of God. So what did Jesus actually mean by these words? Because we know that he was always talking about the kingdom of God, right? The and we know that he was always talking about the spiritual world and the treasures from the spiritual world, right? So when he says the meek and the peace loving, they shall possess the earth, how can we understand that? Because he has stated prior already in other passage from the gospel that we should renounce things from this world and gather things that will that are promised for us in heaven, right, in the spiritual world. So the spirits bring us clarity on this, and they say, while waiting for the things of heaven, humans have need of things of the earth in order to live. Jesus only advises them not to attach more importance to the latter than to the former, right? So that's a very important statement. And it means that as we are here incarnated, we will need to live in this world. We will need to have things from this world, material possessions, right? However, we need to be really conscious of the importance that we give to those material possessions, because we know that our life here is temporary, and we will not be able to bring all our stuff from the earth, right? Like our cell phones or our homes, our cars. We will not be able to bring that to the afterlife, right? So that's why Jesus always brought this knowledge for us to develop virtues, uh, and develop uh, like seek enlightenment in order for us to be more prepared to our afterlife, right? But at the same time, it also means that the earth, we know already because of previous studies here. If you are watching us since the beginning, you know that now we are passing, like the earth is passing through a transition, and we are going from a world of proof and expiation to a world of regeneration, which means that in this world of regeneration, um, the meek and the peace loving and the spirits that are doing good, the spirits that are developing those virtues, they shall possess the earth in that sense, because in the regeneration state of the planet, there will not be space, or let's say vibration, that accommodates spirits that are still um, stagnates in evil, uh, um, evil, how can I say, in spirits that are not, are still like rebellious, let's say, spirits that are still doing bad things, spirits that are not compromised to evolve, right, in to seek enlightenment, to evolve as seek the perfection, right, to rise through God. So that's why also Jesus brought us in those blessings that in in this passage we will understand. So he promised that justice will be rendered to the meek and peace loving on earth as in heaven, for they shall be called children of God. So that's he was already telling us about the evolution of the planet. And in this state of regeneration, we would be in a more, in a vibration of love. We would be in a state where the spirits would be doing good and would be more peace loving and meek, right? Developing those virtues and actually putting it in practice. But one of the things that made me really think about this, one of these blessings, was really that he says that the peace loving would should sorry, they shall be called children of God. And that made me wondered, does that mean that spirits that are not peace loving, which means the spirits that are still being violent, are still with reactions of like offensive reactions towards one another, uh, does that mean that those spirits are not children of God? And in the reality, if we think about it, in the reality, what Jesus wanted us to understand is that as we, like, I just want to give you a comparison. We commonly say that a children, it tends to behavior like their parents, right? So they ended up learning a way, like their habits or their expressions. And it's really common to say, oh, you look like your father, right? Or you look like your mother. So in that sense, Jesus was kind of giving us the knowledge that the spirits that pass through these trials and ended up understanding the law of love and charity, and developing those virtues, especially the peace loving, they shall be called children of God, because they will be um, uh, acting as one of the virtues that God has, right? God is perfect in all the virtues, and that's why, especially the peace loving is one of the virtues, according to these teachings, uh, that will resemblance the most of God, right? So we are basically, we have Jesus as our model and guide. And if we think about different situations that he passed over when he was incarnated here to teach us, um, we see him, we have not seen in any situation he act violent towards someone, even the ones that were acting with insulting him, or even saying bad things to him, or even most in the end acting really with like physical violence, right? So we, on the contrary, we saw him acting with resilience, with resignation. So that's why we know that Jesus, as and a spirit that is very evolved, he is our model and our guide on how we should deal with all those situations. And another thing that we can point out as well is that he was called as Son of God, right? And in that sense, it's because he had already showing all those virtues that we still need to develop here in our existence. And I just want to clarify that even though we know that some of the spirits are stagnate in a state where they don't want to be good, they just want to cause harm, right? Even though these spirits are right now in that state, it doesn't mean that eventually they will not evolve as well, right? However, God is patient with us, and because we know we are millennial spirits, we have infinite incarnations to come and evolve and develop, right? We have a lot of opportunities to really reach that perfection. So sometimes it will take 2000 years, right? Sometimes it will take less, but it really depends on the our personal way of handling, right? And nothing that no, like nothing of these laws and teachings that we study here is going to be forced to us, right? So that's why each one of us have a time for understanding those teachings and putting into practice, right? And that's why even though right now those spirits, maybe they are not being able to be called as children of God in that sense because they're not peace loving, it doesn't mean that they will not reach that point in certain time, right? So let's continue with this great passage from the Gospel according to Spiritism, where they say that when the law of love and charity is finally the law of humankind, there will be no more selfishness. This is really utopic for us right now, right? But it will come a day where this will be a reality here on earth. So, such will be the state of the earth when, according to the law of progress and the promise of Jesus, it becomes a blessed world through this expulsion of the evil individuals. So this finalize and summarize what I was telling about the planet being in progress, right? So those spirits that are not still are not uh, in the same state of progression, let's say, they will be guided to other planets with a different state of progression, let's say, a more primitive one, so they can keep evolving, right? So nobody is left behind, like I said. And then right now, I want to finalize our talk with three tips on how can we become meeker and peace loving in our daily lives, or even more broad, but how can we develop all those virtues that we will learn in this chapter, but that we have been learning from our studies here. So the first tip that I would give is the self-knowledge. It's really understanding our self limitations, understanding how we are dealing with our feelings, with the things that happens to us. And this is really important because if we don't know ourselves, it's really hard to learn how can we react to different ways to what happens to us. And we are responsible for the way that we react and that we act. So that's why it's important to know our own selves. The second one, it would be avoiding judgments and assumptions, right? So like I gave that example that sometimes we will just say something and that will just became a nightmare. Sometimes it's because we just ended up like judging too early or creating assumptions of someone or some situation that in the end maybe it's not what we were thinking, but then the damage is done, right? So try to avoid judgments or assumptions in order to really analyze the situation prior to take some action, right? And the third one that I want to share is to seek knowledge. And we have the gospel at home to do a study that you can do yourself or with your family. But we also encourage to do other types of study. For example, we have the course that will start on the fall, Get to Know Spiritism, which is a good course as well. It's if you want to learn more about Spiritism. And seeking knowledge help us to learn how can we act differently, right? If we do not seek other knowledge, we will not be able to have more like an expanded vision on how can we put into practice those teachings that we have been learning, right? And now to wrap up, I just want to say this good quote from Chico Xavier. which was a medium from Brazil, and has this quote that says, "The good that you do anywhere will be your advocate wherever you go." So that means that no matter what situation you are passing through, we first of all, we always have the choice of doing good. Um, and whatever good, even if you didn't even have the intention, but whatever good you do in your life towards other people, towards yourself, towards um, in your workplace, in your family, um, will be your advocate wherever you go, which means that we will make mistake as well, because like I said, we are spirits still in progression, we are spirits still evolving. So that means that we are imperfect and we will make mistakes. But if we are trying to do good, if we are seeking knowledge, if we are trying to put into practice what we are learning here, and what we are learning from the gospel, that means that we will have the we will have the spirits with us, guiding us and providing orientation whenever we need. And that's all for today. Thank you so much. I don't know if I passed over the timing, but I really enjoying to be here tonight with you guys, and I'm here for questions if you have.
Hi, Larissa. Thank you so much for your presentation and reflections on this lesson. Yeah,
No problem.
yeah, I love it, and I was thinking about everything you have spoken here, and it's really difficult, right, for us that we are not involved in spirits to avoid insults and violence, even though we try hard every single day, but sometimes it's so hard, right?
Yes, definitely. And but if we are already, if you are we are already noticing that, right? Sometimes we make a mistake and then we reflect later, oh my god, I shouldn't be done that, I shouldn't have said that, right? That's a first step. Like I said, we are imperfect, we are trying to learn and trying to do better,
Mm-hmm.
and we will only learn from our
Mistakes.
situations, right, and from our mistakes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can avoid, but sometimes we will learn only passing through them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and unfortunately, I think our mistakes teaches us more than situations that we do when we didn't do the mistakes. I think it's hard for us because we feel bad when we do something like
Mm-hmm.
that, and we learn and we try to don't do again, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we
Yes.
do have some questions for you in the
Okay.
chat. Let's see. Rod Combs, our friend Rod, he said, as a result of this talk, we can learn the importance of words, but also the importance of intentions and thoughts. What can we do to improve our thoughts, in your opinion? And the second questions bring into the higher level of evolution, correctness and purity.
Well, like I said, it's really important, first of all, for us to be aware that, like you said, right, to be aware that our words and our thoughts has a really good impact, not only on us but in other people's life, right? So what I would recommend is that seek knowledge and study about the gospel, read a passage, whatever you can do to focus your thought and kind of direct your thought to a more edificant lecture, or even maybe you can put a song to help with the thoughts, right? So
Mhm.
the first step, I think, it's to really recognize when we are maybe in a state where we are not thinking good things, or we are not prepared mentally, right? We are feeling not good. So we can seek knowledge, seek readings that will motivate and encourage us. That will also helps with, like, kind of bringing it to a higher level, right, of thoughts and even sayings.
Excellent. And pray and watch, right?
Yeah, of course.
The second question, Paulo said, Good evening. God created all spirits simple and ignorant. Is this means that God gave us the same start point? Also, using this logic, are we reaching the same final destination or perfection? What do you think?
Yes, that's actually what does that mean. So, Paulo, you are really correct on that. It means that everybody, all of us spirits, we started in the same point as simple and ignorant, lacking all knowledge,
Mhm.
and we will be reaching perfection, which is our final destination, right? Um, we will not reach a perfection like as God, right? Because God is, but we will be closer to Him, let's say. So, yes, we as spirits, we have the same start point and the same destination. However, how can we, like, in what kind of, like, where in this pathway each one of us are, it really depends, right? Depending on how long, how many incarnations we had, and how fast we are going through them and we are learning, right? So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Larissa.
No
It was
problem, thank you.
very very nice to listen you this night. Okay,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much. Bye bye.
Bye. So we thank you everyone for your participation in the chat. And now we will move to the preparation of our tonight's spiritual treatment. Pass is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. Passes help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with healthy, positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from passes, please follow the audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. During the pass, the water you set aside will also absorb the spiritual energy that your family and you can benefit from. We will now make a prayer in preparation for the pass, which will be our closing prayer as well. Okay, so once again, I invite everyone for joining and close our eyes. Okay, dear God, we thank you for this beautiful night and for the tonight's talk, which was very important for all of us in order to keep ourselves praying and watching and avoid insults and violence against our neighbors. We ask for your help to be a better person every day in our lives because we need to evolve to one day reach higher worlds. Please bless our week and everything we need to do. And may we always remember that you are our model, guide, and example. May the good spirits protect us during this treatment. Once again, Thank you for your love, your mercy, and for everything you have done for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The pass begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind. Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil. Washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light. Surrender to it. Involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the pass. Thank you, God.
I would like to thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back next Tuesday here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Conference Americas at 8:30 p.m. East, and next Wednesday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. East. Have a good night. See you next week.
Jesus Christ, let us preach the peace, let us preach the love, and this world already wonderful will be much more. Get up, look at the sky, in the earth where the flowers bloom with sunshine. Let's hold our hands and be together on this road. Then we take peace and love and spread it to the world.